This person, this power that be, is trying to sustain and preserve his way of life. He's afraid right now more than ever because his barista kids kind of like you black folks, you Latino folks. They want to hang out with us. They want to have our babies. They feel bad about what their granddaddies did. They want to break bread with us. They saying, you about to give away everything I pillaged. I took this fair square. I fought for this. This is my shit, all that he stole from the people. Just like any other crook that ever robbed somebody, when he took his shit, he felt like he had a right to it. Well, these crooks feel like they have a right to it, and they feel like they have a right to preserve their way of life. So the things that you see that's happening is about securing and preserving his way of life, because it's being threatened by this consciousness, this individuality, this, hold up, race intensity. That's the new FBI term. So, coupled with this critical race theory, that's just something to keep you from talking and making their kids feel bad about the wrong they've done. And might actually want to give you reparations. They don't want to see that. But they got this thing, race intensity. So if you are advocating your ethnicity, whether you saying we black and brown people and you showing pride in the power of our people, that we are the mothers and the fathers of civilization, they say that you are a potential threat. Because that's like the borders of whatever ethnic supremacy. But the reality is they just want to stifle you from telling truths. They don't want a repeat of the 80s with all these, and 70s with these young 5%ers teaching every goddamn way. Now, they're afraid because you got young Bloods and Crips and things all over, and they're growing. But the problem is they don't want no 5%ers to get to them. Not until it's true, because if these things start to spread and you take these large populations of young who are not afraid of these people and empower them with knowledge, that's a super threat. Because, let me tell you why it's such a threat. Not because they're worried about your potential violence, it's because we are taking their tools away from them. We're taking their future hustler. We're taking their future prison inmate. See, this is how they make money off of you. See, what's happening in immigration is about a new labor force. See, old people are retiring, dying. COVID made people quit, become independent. They're creating a new labor force and they're designating you for prison. Because prison is a private business. What private business don't try to stimulate business for its market? So, with the music, you hearing all we hear is gangster music, right? Because it's an indoctrination. It's a way of media programming you. And the biggest investor in hip hop and R&B is the prison industrial complex. So they invest in this to poison your mind in order to make you think, and if you're weak and don't have that good foundation, because remember, in the 80s they worked the plan to get the men out the house, right? We went to prison, we got killed, we got strung out on drugs, child support put people in prison, all kind of things, right? Then after they got us out the house, what they did, they said, hey young bud, hey young girl, and they might as well have said, if that bitch hit you, call me. We'll lock her up. That bitch would be mommy. If mommy beat you, because daddy ain't in the house no more. If mommy beat you, call me and we will lock her up. So who's left raising that child? The system, may it be in a system, institution, or in the system he designed in the street. Because we didn't design this system. Because if you watch every fucking commercial, every politic, What colors do they represent by? Red and blue. You think you started that? That's their game. And what things that started to help the community turned into things that terrorized the community. Okay? And that's just due to poor leadership. You see, I ain't against nothing that bring people together. Okay? Anything that bring people together, man, come on with it. Let's take the opportunity to try to teach somebody in that midst, and maybe this truth can be as infectious as the bullshit, if it's delivered right. You know what I mean? This is knowledge. Okay? I see mostly men here, so know thyself. And be able to stand on your foundation. And when you speak this truth with authority. Okay? Know what you know. Because people may tell you wrong. And you better know that you're right. And not just because you think you're right, because you researched. Because you analyzed. Because you tested it. And remember, everything on Google and in Wikipedia ain't true. Some of that shit wrong. So when you think your all go-to source is Google, you might want to think again. It is an assistant, just like your navigational system. It is to assist you. Because how many people you heard that ran into lakes, off highways, and all other kind of things following navigation blindly? So these are tools to aid you. Just like your supreme mathematics is a tool to aid you, to give you the ability to master people, places, and things that you encounter in this world. You understand? Everybody ain't a king. You got to establish that. Build you a kingdom. Okay? Everybody ain't a leader. You have to establish that. And this is why we teach leadership as a people. You follow somebody who's better taught or learned until you're capable of moving on your own. So we guide each other, we help each other. We don't sun each other. We build each other up. We free each other's minds. We support each other. We put that battery in your motherfucking bag. Better than ever ready. Okay? We show you that G represents God, and that God is the highest form of living mathematics. So when you live according to this truth, you become living truth, then you become what? Everlasting. That is infinite. See, that's 7 planes of energy. You got 7 sides on your 7 on your flag. It's your mental, your physical, your emotional, your will, okay? Your realization. Magnetic, your realization, and then control, and infinity. All right? These are your 7 planes. That 7th plane is that infinite plane. That's when you truly come into your own. See, once you acknowledge the equality of yourself, and you cease to be potential activity at rest and become the supreme force and power of the universe. When you are that son of man that's building and you making rain, hail, snow, and earthquakes, and you know just how you're doing it. You understand? Your connection. That's what your flags show you. That's why you got a 7 in the center to show you that God on earth is the governor of all these things. Sun, moon, and what? Stars. And as it is in heaven, so shall it be on earth. So, when we look at a book like the Bible or the Quran, which are spoken in old ancient languages, if you want to understand that book, then you have to translate it from the ancient language in which it was spoken. So when they said the heavens, they wasn't talking about some mystical astral plane. They was talking about the skies.
Hang out with me.
So you have to speak in that tense and in that term, or you're going to miss it. And then what's going to happen? We're going to spend the next 40 years arguing about how we disagree. And we can't lose time that way. What we need to do is come together on the things that we do agree on. Find our common focuses and points. find those of like mind and build with them. Because you might not be able to do it with everybody. Everybody's personalities are not set to necessarily rock together. That's just being a human being. But those that you can, build with them, create something, and come together with the other people that built something and take it to a place where it will move something forward for our next generation. They're gonna need college tuition. They're gonna need assistance. We're gonna need to establish some business to show them how to be entrepreneurs. We talk about success, and we always tell our children, you gotta be successful. And then we don't really tell them how to be successful, or what success is, how we define it. We just tell them to go figure it out. I was telling some young brothers earlier, when I was younger, and many of us were younger, most of us were taught about survival. We really didn't get an education about finance. That we figured out on our own by the lack of. And the lack of, that hunger, that necessity made us inventors. Okay, and adventurers. So we figured things out. But y'all a generation of young men that have the ability to be the masters of collegiate programs, to be the guys who run Fortune 500 companies and open up positions and jobs for these young men when they graduate. Okay? Can't be so egotistical where you want to start your job as the boss. Okay? You got to go through the ranks to the point that you can be in a supervisory capacity and be able to open the doors and hire other people. To be a vessel for others, to pay it forward. People paid it forward for us to be here. Those brothers before us took some lumps. Think about this. 1964. You in this city talking about the black man is God. Wait a minute. Wasn't people still getting busted in their head for trying to go vote? Wait a minute. Wasn't the voting rights just passed? And they got somebody talking about the black man is God? Who the fuck you think you are? And then all of these little motherfuckers following you saying, yeah, and fuck you white man. Now we don't say that in this day and time because we have a greater understanding. But can you imagine that? You know the type of heart it took? Can you imagine? That's like going to New Orleans and telling somebody don't eat pork. Just put your gloves on now.
God from New Orleans. Look.
So he knows what I'm talking about.
Back there with the green. Look, he like
He knows exactly what I'm talking about.
sausage and all that shit.
Okay? Go tell one of them cats don't eat no pork. Motherfucker beat them. I'm not dropping these motherfucking bees on you, bro. What you mean don't eat no pork? Man, fuck, I can't do live without that pork. I lived down there for a while. That was the responses I got. I started thinking, well, shit, I could box a little bit. Maybe I should just jab these motherfuckers first. You know what I'm saying? Let me just start it like this. Boom, boom, my man, let me see what you got.
Don't eat no pork.
No, beat him down and then talk to him. He might respect the shit I'm saying more. But I mean, that's just what I was thinking. But the reality is, you know, depending on where you at, it's more and more difficult to present this knowledge and you're gonna come against obstacles. So it's important that you study and that you research and you know your lessons and you know yourself. Know what you built for. Know what you built for. Okay? Because everybody ain't built for all the same shit.
You can't hear, you get closer, you can't hear.
Okay?
Don't make excuses.
So know yourself. Be wise. Make wise choices. Peace.
Hey, Paul. This little job born right here. This little true born right here.
Peace, born life to your
Boy,
baby.
stop your bullshit.
Peace, God.
Them my baby.
I know that you.
Look. I want y'all to see y'all uncle.
That's how you feel? Jabon, that's how you feel? Jabon, that's how you feel? Peace,
Don't
God.
bother with nobody.
That's born master.
But you know they just like you.
Yeah.
Assholes to the
God,
first
actual fact.
You was anti-social.
degree. Assholes to the first degree.
So
Like
it's
you
all
said.
right.
He said.
That's the deal. You do
Assholes
not.
to the first
You
degree.
know who your family is. Just pay attention.
God, but you know they been here
Just keep them coming. That's how I go.
Every show improved video that If Mecca did from the time they was born, they've been in it. Every one. If all you gotta do is go back and you gonna see the growth of my babies in his videos.
Keep them here, baby. That's what
Word
it
is
is.
above. From their birth.
Peace, God.
My young guy just came
Peace,
from Europe for a month hanging out.
Peace, God. How you? All right?
Man, Bill, man.
Sorry, y'all.
What's going on, man? What's going on, man?
My brother, man.
Continue the cycle, man. Continue
I'm here. I'm here. Look, let me get them out of here real quick.
Hey, hey.
If Mega did this.